And that shit ain't never come by you for real. Damn. Ain't no second chances. You can't come back in. You can't come back in. We ain't cool, we can't be friends. Ain't no reminiscing.
Why do I always be the bigger person? I just want someone to show me that I'm truly worth it. Got a lot of things that always go unnoticed. I'm too busy being judged from people who ain't really worth it. Yeah, I get played, I'm so hurt. Cause I wanna know the truth. Are we really a thing? Is it really me and you? Why did I trust people that told me THD? The problem is you.
Never thought that I'd be sitting with the shawty trying to talk a lot and get on.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Ikon. And once again, we're here on 95 South TV. First and foremost, want to thank God for this opportunity because without him, there'll be no us. Next, I want to introduce my right hand man. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Lover himself, your baby mama's favorite host, Barry White Jr. voice himself, Jacob the Great. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, glad to be in the land of the living, man. Another day to get it right, man. Like you said, thank God for this opportunity, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So go ahead and introduce this queen so we can get this doggone interview started.
So, man, listen, I'm gonna give her the honor of letting her introduce herself and telling the audience who she is.
Hey everyone, my name is Priscilla Caballero and I am out of Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Um, I am, I wear a bunch of hats. So I do housing navigation, housing specialist, resource provider. I help people facing evictions in court, just in general, facing evictions, homelessness. I'm a domestic violence advocate where I am on the homicide review team and also in the shelters with survivors. I also do financial education with my own business, consulting business, where we teach people, the underserved communities, credit building, business credit, business structure, get them ready and prepared for funding. And then I also have my own delivery business where I have a fleet of sprinter vans. And then I also do part-time music management as well. So yeah, pretty much a little bit sums up a little bit what I do.
I'm gonna say, what don't you do? Um, so,
I don't know, but I'm
so
willing to learn.
I know that's right. So, let's get started with financial literacy and teaching people about credit reports, credit scores, um, teaching people about the CPN, teaching people about business credit. So, how did you actually get into, financial literacy?
So, growing up, I didn't, I don't know if it's the minority community that we just aren't learning it in school, or maybe just in general, our parents didn't teach us, or we just don't know these kind of things, right? And so I started learning about 6 years ago. I had met somebody, but I learned it all the wrong way. So I was learning things that were like quickly done, or I'm paying folks to do my credit, do my, boost up my credit somehow, looking for the answer to how do I build myself up, right? And so I'm over here doing the wrong things, and then I'm like, let me study it, let me master it myself, and try to help others on the way up. So I took master classes, I took business school, I took everything possible in order to be able to help myself and then give back to others. So I started this company ooh, a few years, probably about 4 years now in 2022, 4.5 years, where we started off just doing master classes, and then went into teaching businesses here in the state of Minnesota, and then also teaching in colleges. So I don't even have to reach out anymore. The colleges reach out to us, and then we go and teach their students of business, or just in general, the credit class itself, and how to teach their staffing and to teach their kids. So yeah,
Oh wow,
just
that's
really
that's
seeing like really seeing the hardship out there for a lot of people that don't know how important it is for credit. You use credit a lot for, maybe getting into housing, getting your own house, and just car, or just all your needs these days. So credit is important. So
it is. It is. So, based on you being in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with you learning financial literacy, how has that helped people to understand economic development, economic growth?
um it helps them understand that it's needed, right? We teach them how to build it, and depending on where they're at, we start where they're at. We don't expect you to have a 700, a 600 credit score. We meet you where you're at. Maybe you have late inquiries, to maybe you got something where went into collections or something like that. We make sure that we teach you how to dispute letters. We teach you how to learn what is needed to build your credit score up. So just teaching that in general, and a lot of people don't know um, the pie chart that you need to get in utilization, to um, revolving credit, to um, just in general, everything that's needed to build your credit report, right? And so people think like, oh, I have a 700 credit score and still don't get approved. Well, what else is affecting that, right? And so we teach them all the things behind a credit score, all the things behind your report, what to break down, and how to get funded, how to help you structure into business credit so you don't use your personal credit. So it's helped a lot of people. It impacts a lot of people. And then coming from where they're coming from, also meeting them where they're at. And so learning our story, and then them feeling comfortable enough to tell us their story, and being comfortable enough for us to help them. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. And so you have also been on the front line with a lot of political issues, going and filling that space and being an advocate for voices who don't really understand what's going on politically in your city. And so, how did you
I think we lost you.
Okay, see where here. Look, we lost it for a second. So I guess I'll jump in here.
I'm
I
sorry, I
want to
can't
ask you a
hear.
quick question. So, uh, can you hear me now? 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 Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you
Yes.
now.
Okay, so sorry about that. Um, walking into those spaces where you in the same room with political figures and just giving that voice for people who don't understand what to say or don't know what to say. How did you even get into that space? Because that's not a very easy space to get into.
Yeah, so partnerships, the organizations that I partner with, the people that I work with, there's different connections that we make, and then we get invited to these spaces. And so when we're in these spaces, we speak up for the people that are surviving maybe domestic violence, housing instability, um, education, and we're in the forefront explaining what's really going on out here in the world, and what the experience is. It's affecting everybody. So being that powerful source and that voice for others is huge for us. So just I feel like just God. I mean, God puts us in this areas, and we just run with them. Um, Learning the community, being in the communities, being in spots where people are vulnerable, people are in courts, losing their houses. And so we feel the need to speak up. We want to speak up. We want to the politicians to know, hey, there's change that needs to be made. Hey, we need funding here. Hey, we need, this is what we're is needed. So um that's how we get in. I just feel like, God works very well in these sources for us to get in. So um yeah.
Okay. So will we get a chance to see you run for any type of office?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe in the future. I haven't thought of that far yet, but maybe that's something that I could
I mean, the reason
definitely look.
well, the reason why I asked because you're already on the front line, and you're on the front line more so than a lot of people wouldn't do what you're doing. And so with you
Mhm.
being on the front line and on the space, a lot of people who you may not think know your name definitely know your name. Because you you advocate for those who feel like their voice is powerless. And so and when it comes to community development, economic growth, and political development, you're already in that space. So that's why I asked you that question.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
in the future, definitely working towards, being into groups, speaking events. We're looking to expand in those areas nationwide with the financial education that we do and also the domestic stuff that we do as well. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So so I have to be honest with you. I I was an adult when when I understood about domestic violence. I didn't grow up in a home. I never seen that before.
Mhm.
My parents were married for 40 years before my father passed away, and so I never knew what domestic violence were before I got hired by a nonprofit out of Charlotte, North Carolina, called Unique Blessings, and they fought against domestic violence, human trafficking, sex trafficking, sexual assault, mental health, and all of that. And so I'm in these rooms, and I hear these women and these men talk about domestic violence and the type of space and mental capacity and emotional distress that is put them in, and it was so hard to put their life back together. And so, for you being an advocate of domestic violence, um, from that emotional and that mental standpoint of view, you know, um, how do you kind of deal with your clients that been through that, and what type of pressures are put on you when you have to stand in court with somebody, or you have to go through a counseling session with a male or a female or a male whose kids have seen this and their kids need counseling.
Mhm. Yeah, and so I've been through domestic violence. I'm a survivor. I'm a victor of domestic violence. My abuser got 16 and a half years. So I've been in the courts, personally for myself, and then also to be able to advocate for others. Um, Being resilient right after the situation helped me. So staying busy, making sure that I know the ins and out of how to better myself, show my daughter resilience. And so now that I advocate and I deal with survivors on a daily basis when they come into the shelter, I'm able to say, "Hey, I've been there." They're the way that they connect with me by understanding them and their stories. They thank me afterwards because I tell them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can be anything you want to be and teach them that their strength is way stronger, right, than what they're going through. And then just really just being next to them in the court, they feel safe, they feel supported, they feel like there's somebody strong with them that they're able to go to court themselves and say, hey, I'm going to stand up for myself and my voice does matter. So um I get thanks all the time, and I don't do it for myself, I do it for them, I do it for everyone else. I always say to myself, like, the fear from other people's abusers, or the fear from mind, right? Finding out where I'm at, different things like that. If I stayed in fear, I would never be able to prosper. So I feel like I stay grounded, I stay strong. God, with God, everything, you know what I mean? I give all glory to Him for it. But just being that strong person for them has been a huge impact for both of us. I mean, it fills my heart as much as it does them. So, yeah, men go through the same thing. So I see different things. There's a lot of men that are very quiet about it. They don't speak up because they either feel like they aren't a man when they do it. They feel like who's gonna believe them? They feel like, like how am I gonna come open and talk about this? And so we just encourage them that it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to speak up and let people know that it happens to them too. So just being the support there, whether it's in court or whether it's just when they come through the door. So yeah.
Okay, so you are a domestic violence survivor and
Mhm.
you are a domestic violence advocate. And so, I want to understand, of course we know God helps heal and through different situations, but with that process of healing, what are some coping mechanisms that you had to understand that you had to do to really go on with your healing process?
I had to understand why I was accepting the things that I did. So I had to step back. I had to heal myself in ways that you look at you step back and you look at your kids, you look at your self and how you enter in things and what you accept. So if you don't do the healing on yourself, if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be able to step into something and be that for somebody else, right? So you have to look at who not everybody's healed 100%, but like who's working on themselves. I step back and now things are like, okay, no, I'm not accepting that, or i'm not um I'm not ready for that, or I'm here to educate somebody that is going through that. So the healing process is huge for yourself. I just you just have to step back and you have to look into your life and not be with anybody. Some people go to the next relationship right away because they're afraid to be alone. You really got to be alone, and understand yourself, love yourself enough to be that powerful to say no, to say or to expect what you deserve. Like, yeah, just really just taking that time to heal. It took me 5 years, so to be able to say yes to anybody else. So I know that it takes time. It might not take that people that much time, but it takes time. It takes time for you to realize that that's not the life you want to live. So
Okay. So we're gonna switch gears on something that yourself and Icon knows about, a lot. So we're gonna switch gears into the transportation industry, and it's a very big industry. It's always going to be around, and so with what is something that you would tell someone that wants to get into the transportation industry?
do your research before you purchase. Do your research. Get what you need first and understand what it takes. Sometimes you get into something thinking it's going to be a great investment, but it takes work. Structure your business right. Get your MCDOT registered and hold on for it for 6 months. I mean, some of these people don't work with you until you've had it for 6 months to a year. um, Kind of really just understand what you're getting into. Are you ready? Do you have a driver? Do you have a broker? Do you have a dispatcher? Do you have just anything and everything that you need for your business? I just got thrown into it. I was an investor, and then something happened, and then became the whole thing. So I had to figure it out alone. So just going from ground up, I would say just do your research. Make sure that you have the right people behind you. Make sure that you have the tools, the knowledge for it, and then um, the load boards, the app, or apps, anything that can help you, because or whatever you can study. Um, just be prepared, because it's a lot of work. It's not that easy as you think. So yeah, but it's worth it. It's going to be worth it
Okay.
at the end.
This is your industry. Go and talk.
All right. Well, I want to go back for a second. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hold on. Let me cut this phone to you. Let me see if I can go directly like this. Can you still can't hear me? Let me see if I can you hear me now? Jacob, can you hear me? Nobody can hear me?
Yeah, so say some icon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Y'all
you.
can't hear me? You can hear me now?
Oh, I can't hear.
Yeah,
Oh, let me go back and call and come back again.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear him.
yeah, I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. So, with being in this transportation business, man, so much has changed. It's so many load boards out there, and it's so many things, and it's tons of people using their car now. You got sprinter fans, the car.
Y'all hear me?
You even got, yeah, I can hear you.
You hear
Yeah,
me now?
go ahead, Icon.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna go back for a second. When it comes to different apps to use, what do you feel about the app Kickoff when it comes to the credit?
Kickoff.
Yes.
I feel like it helps. I mean, that really just helps you. Is it like a secured? That's like one of the secured loans that they give you, that you're kind of building like a revolving credit with them, kind of like uh, these other couple apps that like. Oh gosh, I would have to bring them up. Sorry.
Well, the way
Self.
Kickoff works is it doesn't. You don't be able. You're not able to use the money. So basically, they
No.
give you like a fake line of credit,
Yep.
and then you pay back on the credit. And I guess it's supposed to build your credit and give you points based off of you paying a monthly fee back off of money you really not even using.
So it's kind of like a save it. Do they give it to you at the end? Because like self is an app too. It's a savings account that you put into, and they give you money at the end of your that $1,000 or whatever that they have you pay. Do they not give it back to you there with the kickoff?
I think that's
Yeah,
what
they
they do
do.
in the end. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep. So that's something good. Like I did that to build my credit, not kickoff, but I used self credit, and then there was this other one. But it really is just revolving credit. So those are revolving lines that creditors are using, like for like a primary. They want to know who else is trusting you to pay back the loan, pay back different things. So that's how you're going to get the next credit card, maybe, or a car payment, or um, maybe a house. So, but these creditors, that's what they look for, is those revolving credit lines, that somebody is already trusting you to pay back something.
Okay. Okay. Now, when it comes to the domestic violence stuff,
Mhm.
um what because I watch a lot of like true crime shows, and I see where a lot of them end up where the female, especially, a lot of times she'll end up getting unalive by her partner when she does try to leave. So, and my thing is always, and then she might have done everything right. She might have eventually left. She took the kids, she went and reported it. They did a restraining order, and then the guy still end up finding her and doing what he does to her. So what can the law enforcement do better at making sure it doesn't go that far and get to that point?
We actually do a homicide review team for this, and I'm in actually at the table with detectives, judges, and different stuff like that for observations for these kinds of things that you're asking. Um, man, they show up. They can do better by answering, I guess, coming faster. I would think when that call is made, um I would say giving education, putting these people accountable, like they get a slap on the wrist. I feel like when people go to jail for, doing the first hit or the first thing, I feel like they need to get like a further consequence, maybe a felony, for doing it, because in reality it's just like a misdemeanor, right? Maybe taking classes, more educational piece, maybe the mental health evaluations. I feel like they need more accountability on that part for the abuser, because it can be a woman as well. um, and just in general, holding them more accountable when they are arrested instead of just letting them back on the street. OFPs, harassment, or those are all pieces of paper. Um, the women, so like here in Minnesota, and I think it's nationwide as well, we have like a safe at home program where you don't have to, you go to them and you get your address, and they give you a new address. You don't have to let people know where you're staying at. You change it with them, only the state. They put that kind of stuff in place. To be honest, the statistics are women go back 17 times average.
Mm-hmm.
7 to 17 times average. Same with men. Um, Sometimes I feel like the police get tired of going to the house and you still stay, or you come
Mm-hmm.
back, and so they get these calls and they're like, well, it's Bob and Susan again and they're fighting. Um, she's just gonna stay with him anyway. So I think they get tired, and then they lose that sympathy, where they don't rush to the spot anymore. And then by that time, something worse happens. So I feel like sometimes that happens. I feel like the OFP needs to be more in place, with the timing. So, like here, like for instance, they have 2 days to chase after the person after, like if they leave on site and they don't find them within the 48 hours, they're let go for free. They never get charged or anything. So, just maybe opening that space up to saying, hey, you got a warrant for 2 weeks. Now you're getting charged for this. I think more accountability to place them under classes. Mental health is huge, because a lot of people are going through that mental health is why they snap, or they don't know how to be in a relationship, or things like that. So I think education pieces, or like I said, more accountability on these people that are supposed to be getting arrested for it.
Well, I think by you saying it, I think it need to be maybe levels to it. Meaning, if you have a restraining order on somebody, and depending on the level of violence that happened during that
Mhm.
encounter, maybe okay, if you go back, you get a year automatically in prison. You get 2 years in prison. You get three
Yep.
years in prison. So I think it needs to be levels to it to kind of really enforce it, because a lot of times when you doing a restraining order, 9 times out of 10, the other party is going to be like, man, I don't care about that restraining order. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I seen a case. I was watching a case last week where a lady, she had a restraining order against her husband. She was about to get a divorce, and he was still coming and going as he pleased to the house all the time, hey, whatever, whatever. And then he finally, unalived, went to the house and shot her 10 times. And basically
Yep.
was like, he admitted to it, like, yeah, I shot her 10 times. I don't really like. He like basically like, I don't know why I did it. I just did it. I just end up we got in an argument. She said something, a couple of things I didn't like, and I unloaded on her basically. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
I'm just like, when you got people like that, and then especially when you see a got a track record. And that's the thing that
Oh
if you
yeah.
seen that this man or this woman has a track record of violence, because a lot of times these people have a violent track record before they even get to this person. And
Yep.
then by the time they unalive the person, then you realize, oh, they done had all kind of lawsuits and all kind of domestic violent crimes against them for the last 10 years. And, you know what I mean? It
Yep.
should never came to this point or whatever. So yeah,
Yep.
that's why I feel like when it comes to that, just like in Georgia and I think in North Carolina, you can't, like, if two people, if they call police get called out, then they don't automatically just take the man to jail. If the woman fights back, or a lot of cases, they take everybody to jail. Both of you got to
Yep.
go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In those cases or whatever. So I feel like, and it's almost like they have to say, we gotta protect you from you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yep. Just
but
holding them more accountable for each time, each, more years or something, like because like two, take the kids away, let them, because
hmm
a lot, when it goes back to the kids mental health, like you don't realize how bad it affects the kids until you're out of it.
hmm
When I
Yep.
when I got out of mine, I was thinking to myself, like, oh my, like, how do I get out of depression, right? And then now I look at my child, like, if I went through all this, she's seen me go through all of this, just imagine her mental health. And so just realizing that after the fact, that you went through it, and then recognizing that your kids, so not going back and not, putting them right through it again. So yeah, it's a lot. There's so many components to it. A lot of people go back and back and back until it's too late.
hmm
And it's sad. It's so sad. And then there's
Yeah.
stalkers. There's ones that don't leave you alone. There's ones that won't let you be happy with the next person. And
hmm
those should be held accountable too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so, transitioning back to the transportation side, and like Jacob said, I've been in it for like 12 years, and I'd always tell Jacob, I said, well, everybody's experience is different, and like you
Mhm.
said, it takes some time to build it up or whatever. So you can't just say, oh, I'm just gonna get into it and make a bunch of money. That's not really how the transportation business work. Like you said, you got to have your MC, you got to get your DOT, you got to get all that. And then and if one thing I would say, if you can get blessed enough to find contracts,
Yep.
Home Depot, the Red Cross, something that's gonna pay you a guaranteed amount of money each week on doing routes and stuff, FedEx or whatever, versus
Yep.
the load board, because the load board doesn't necessarily work for everybody the same way, especially if
Mhm.
you're in a certain area and you're not willing to go. You go over the road, but you're not willing to go but so far, and it's just a lot of factors that factor into that load board. So
Yep.
kind of uh, do you agree or disagree with what I'm saying on all that?
Yes. And I'm just being thrown in it. Like I said, I'm the delivery driver. I'm the um person who's finding the loads. Right now I'm doing on demand loads until I can figure out the load board, or till I can figure out like contracts, and making those partnerships with them. But yeah, it's definitely some work. I agree. I definitely agree on that. So you said the partnerships with the different people first, like the contracts with them would be best.
Yeah, like the different companies. If you get like Sear, I mean, it's like Home Depot, Red Cross, FedEx, somebody that you can basically say, okay, this how much this contract pays this week. This how many, what drivers we need, how many drivers we need, or something like that. Versus that load board, because that load board could get tricky. It could get slow. The how much they want to pay you per mile could fluctuate. People under bidding. It's just a lot to
Right.
go into that. You
So
know.
what would you say that you would take mileage, like no less than $2 a mile, or what are you thinking, or what is the best way to go about that?
Well, see, because think about it. Because okay, so do you have trucks or do you have
I have
vans?
a Sprinter van, so ProMaster 3500.
Okay, so sprinter vans is kind of different from trucks because, of course, with a truck, you got to think about the weight of the load and all that kind of stuff. Because the
Yeah.
more weight, the more gas is going to take, fuel and all that kind of stuff. When you're dealing with a sprinter van, you don't want to go under $2, but sometimes just because of the market, you might have to settle for like $1.50, $1.60, stuff like that. And it depends on how
Okay.
far you're going, what all it pertains as far as what the load is looking like. I've had I when I was doing I was working with somebody, and I had literally had like a package sitting on the front seat going 300 or 400 miles. So,
Mm,
it could be something that small, or it could be a whole crate in the back that you have to carry. Cause I was doing the sprinter thing or whatever, but ours was a lot of hot shots. So it was a lot of 12, 13 hour drives, stop for 2 hours and have to go find another load and then go for another 10 hours. So it was crazy like that when I was working with them or whatever. So I don't know what your experience has been with your drivers, and how to keep that vehicle rolling, and at the same time not killing your drivers when it comes to having them drive too much without
okay.
resting, because
What
you don't
about
have to work off the huh.
what about the medical the
Well, like
medical
the medical courier, like most of that is a lot of that is about mileage, or
okay.
it could be mileage, and it could be like a guaranteed amount, or not even say just say a guaranteed amount. Maybe it could be by package. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
sometimes you can have a contract that's by package. You get paid per package, so it could be $1 a package, 75 cents a package. It could be that. I done the medical courier side when I was in my own car, but I was driving like a van, a car, but I had a contract. So my
Okay.
contract paid a certain amount for me to go from the warehouse to whatever my locations were. So I had a guaranteed contract to pay me a certain amount when I did that. But when you in business like yourself, but if you do it that way, then you would have to have several different vehicles, several different like sprinter vans, if you're gonna so you can have several different contracts if you're doing the medical courier thing. Now Red
Mhm.
Cross, so that could be a lot of money in that. If you get a contract that's paying you for that, that could be a lot of money. But the thing about it is too, you want to also be in a situation where you might have a contract that doesn't take all day. Let's say you got up at 5 o'clock, contract ended 10, then you can maybe have another contract start at noon and go from the 6 or something. So you might want to keep your eyes open on smaller contracts that pay good money, but then you may can do 2 or 3 contracts in one day. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then stretch out that whole week. So that would be another way to go. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But to me, I just don't I just don't want to just rely solely on that board, because that board can get tricky. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yep.
Unless you really get it consistency with it and get it rolling and like that. But I know in the first year or two, it takes some time to really get rolling with that board. You
Okay.
know. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just my experience and my opinion of it all. But you might have had a different experience than I had.
Yeah. No, I got it ready to go. I'm ready. And I've had a couple of deliveries here and there, but I'm ready to hit the road running.
Okay.
So I gotta get it to it.
Oh, okay, so you just not really getting started with it.
Yeah, yeah. I got it all prepared, certifications to everything, anything in $1 million insurance to, all of that. I got it all prepared, read about it, did my research for that specific reason, and now I'm just ready to go. So I've had it since
Yeah.
December. So the
Okay.
the the months are coming up, and whatnot. So I'm just waiting I do the on-demand deliveries here and there, but I'm ready for the consistency. So and that way I can
Yeah.
just let it run itself.
Okay. Okay. Before I throw it back to Jacob, I'm gonna just say this: y'all have the coldest state in America. Minnesota is the coldest state in America, and I've been to every city, every state in America 100 times over. And in the wintertime, it does not get any colder than Minneapolis, Minnesota, in that area.
I know. I know.
Well, but
I
go
might have to
ahead,
go
Jacob.
down south. I might have to go down south just to
Yeah.
do the winters over there.
Oh yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead, Jacob. You jump back
So
in.
so so you've helped more than 500 families get housing. And
Hmm.
so tell me the process and how you got started on helping families. Working with people that's less fortunate, working with the poverty communities, working with senior citizens, working with single mothers, single fathers. How did you get started doing that?
So in 20, I started that in 2020. I really got into it with, I don't know if you've heard of AmeriCorps. It's nationwide with that. They've had contracts open for that position. And I thought, what award would it be to be able to help somebody through evictions, through how, or just to help the homeless, right? And so I decided to be a volunteer for AmeriCorps. I got started with them, and then I started with the site that they put me at, and then I grew from there. So since I've been there, it's over 500 families and counting. Still to this day, we just got a 400,000 uh, funding source that just came as well. So it's probably going to be the next however many families that we help. But I really got into it because of my passion for it. Um, I've experienced it after leaving my domestic violence situation. And so I thought, hey, why not help the next person? I know all these resources, I've done the work. And then so that's just really how I got into it. People that I work with are great. The ones that, the organizations that I've been with give great resources. So I just really tuned in, made the partnerships with different organizations in the Twin Cities and around Minnesota as well, and made sure that I was able to provide these resources to everybody that I could come across, whether it be, financial savings, budgeting, to be able to stay in their homes, to be able to understand that money is important, how to use it. Um, Being in the courts, waiting for somebody to get out of eviction court to say, "Hey, I can help you." Um, how else? I've at the quickest I've helped somebody when the sheriff is at their door 24 hours. So I've gotten, and we fund a lot of money there. I think where one time we had funding come in for Rent Help Minnesota, and they were funding up to like, I think $20,000 for back rent. So just being able to provide those resources was crucial, not only for me but for them. Dealing with somebody in crisis like that, understanding their story and listening to them, and then be able to help them right afterwards is just a passion for me. I love helping people. And so that's another reason why I got into that field of it, because of experience and then just the passion for it.
Oh, you are.
Oh, I can't hear both you.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry, I had it on mute.
Yeah. Yep, I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm God. Appreciate you coming on, and giving us your time. We didn't get into everything because you do a lot. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how you can do all that and even be in the music management side because these I don't know what kind of artists you manage, but these artists nowadays do not listen. And I told Jake that's why I told Jacob, other than if my son and them wasn't in it, I wouldn't even be still in the music business no more. That's I rather do this
Yeah.
podcast stuff because these artists nowadays they think they know everything. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I don't even really want to half the time fool with it. I've been in it since like 97 on and off, you know what I mean, or whatever. But, I got more
Yep.
to the TV and the radio stuff years ago just because of
Yep.
the frustration of dealing with the artist management. So we have to bring you back on another time to talk about that. But,
Yeah.
just to get the knowledge of what we talked about and talking about the stuff we talked about, I think it was more important for this particular interview.
Yeah.
But I
Sure.
appreciate you coming on, giving us your time. Tell everybody where they can find you, in your different platforms.
Thank you for having me on your show. Can't wait to come back. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Priscilla Caballero, or the real Priscilla Caballero on Instagram. I think he had posted where you can get my link tree. So you can find me on the flyer that he had posted up as well. The link tree, you can see stories on me. Different magazines have written stories, different places in the Twin Cities have written stories as well. So you can get to know me a little bit better, and what I do. And then, yeah, so definitely find me and connect with me if you are facing evictions or different things like that, domestic violence. Reach out to me. I got the resources for you.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you coming on, and God bless you, young lady, because you got a lot going on. So, get you
Thank you.
some
God
rest.
bless
That's
you.
all I can say.
I will.
All
Thank
right. You
you.
have a good night.
You too.
All right, thank you
Bye.
so much.
Brown skin
Bye.
girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind. The girl she spoke